President Biden at the White House there as he's facing growing pressure on the economic front today, announcing the Port of Los Angeles is going to start operating around the clock. For more, let's bring in ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers and also ABC political director Rick Klein. Karen, let's start with you. What was the president trying to do in that speech, and what more can the White House do to alleviate the bottlenecks that we're seeing in the supply chain?
Kira, the president and the White House are trying to get ahead of what could be some really tough headlines as people start looking to the holiday shopping season and find that things they want to buy or things that they've already purchased aren't getting to them on time. This has been a big issue. The administration says they've been focused on this for months, but now they're understanding that it's getting down to crunch time. So the president today, Kira, was sitting down with the leaders of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, California, after they had reached an agreement where they will now operate 24/7. The president says this is going to better enable goods to get from ships to the ports to trucks to get out across the country. There's also an issue of workers here, and there were union representatives meeting with the president today, Kira. They say this is good for workers. They're going to get more hours, and this should help alleviate some of the stress of the supply chain issues. But a very important thing, Kira, the White House, the president, senior officials keep emphasizing there's only so much the government can do, that many of these points where there are bottlenecks or congestion are run by private entities. So that's why the president today was calling on companies, calling on entities to step up and try and alleviate some of these problems.
And Rick, you know, we're looking at these pictures of the Port of Los Angeles and elsewhere. 500,000, 500,000 cargo containers just sitting out there waiting to be delivered. People being warned, you know, you got to get your Christmas shopping in. My wife was in a toy store the other day. They said, buy it now, because this is what's on the shelves is what we've got. So Americans seem divided over who to blame about this. President Biden's getting a lot of blame. His approval rating in a CNN poll out today, 50% approve of him, while 49% disapprove. And that's a good result for him. So how much is this situation impacting the president politically?
Yeah, Terry, I'm struck by how interconnected these challenges are. The concerns around the economic recovery, concerns around inflation, concerns around the direction of employment numbers, even the COVID recovery wrapped up in this. And all of these issues come back to how the country emerges. And you heard President Biden moments ago make the case again for addressing all of these global issues with a big global response around additional spending, a vast remaking of the way that government interacts with individuals. He used it to advocate for the two big bills that are right now stalled in the Democratic-controlled Congress. So that makes it an urgent political issue. It's an urgent lifestyle issue for so many Americans. But again, these things come together, and that's where the White House has been focused in trying to solve COVID-19 and the pandemic, knowing that all of these things end up impacting each other. And this moment happens for a variety of reasons, and it doesn't lend itself easily to one solution either. You've got all of this additional demand that's choking up a lot of the supply chains. You've got problems in staffing. These things are going to take time to work through. And I'm struck also by how much reliance there is here on the private sector as opposed to the federal government with any additional orders.
That's interesting, Rick. And also, it does feel as if the Biden plan was, okay, once the vaccines roll in, you just switch the light switch back on and everything goes back to normal. It feels like everything's going to be very different. And I wonder if the president and his team are nimble enough to respond to what is emerging as a very different post-pandemic than people thought.
And some of the additional demand on the economy is driving the fact that you've got these backlogs. The reason that people are worried about the shipping being out there in time for Christmas is that people have more money. There's more money flowing through the system. That's exactly what the stimulus package passed earlier this year was supposed to do. And now President Biden wants to spend trillions of dollars more on other investments. And it does have a consequence with the broader economy. And I think you're right, Terry, that when you put so much of your plans into knowing that the recovery is the next step, that getting the country past the pandemic has to happen, it does raise the question of what happens if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to. And that's fueling the concerns right now and some of the political peril that Democrats are staring down the barrel of.
Karen, I understand while you were doing radio today, you received many questions about this.
Yeah, this is a really big deal for American consumers. For all the reasons Rick just pointed out, people are starting to pay attention to this. This has been an issue for several months now, but it's really starting to be driven home, I think, as people have their eye on the end of the year and the holiday season. And just the fact of the prices increasing. People are feeling it in their pocketbooks. The White House said today that they don't know how long this is going to take to get this stabilized. They don't know how long it will be before prices come back down. But any delay in this, they say, is not a good thing. They are fully recognizing that, or at least acknowledging that this is a political challenge for them. They're tying this, as Rick says, into the broader economic agenda that the president wants to move forward, but that, of course, is stalled. So they're certainly also talking about a lot of things that they say are out of their control at this point, which is striking to hear a president say there's only so much he can do on something that is such a big concern for millions of Americans.
Rick Klein and Karen Travers, appreciate the conversation.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.